blah, blah, blah. Give me a second. Boom. Boom. Yeah, you know, it's one thing to the next. One thing to the next with these motherfuckers. You know? Now
are the looters. No, they're not.
Looters.
They're very, very different. You have to keep them separate. So I want to thank the
You have to keep them separate. How about you keep me separate from them and not confine me to my house at 8 o'clock? Not give me the ability to leave Brooklyn unless I live in Manhattan. Okay? Okay? I have an out-of-state address. Can I fucking leave? No, I can't. Fuck you.
Protesters who protested peacefully to make their point and defy or frustrate the political forces that would like to say these protests are all criminals. No. They're people who want change and reform, and they're right. And we have to keep the two separate. And the protesters have to help us keep the two separate, and they did. New York City was mainly peaceful. There were a number of arrests, and there were a number of police officers who were hurt. One police officer was stabbed in the neck. Two police officers had gunshot wounds, I believe both to their hands. That is intolerable. The police are doing an impossible job.
I thought they weren't doing their job. Oh, we apologize for that. Because, you know, once I start getting cops shot, my propaganda and my pressure cooker is working. So let me put some, you know, I don't even what do you call them? Hot plates or something? Let me put them on my hands so I could touch this thing after I'm the one who started the whole fire in the first place.
They're trying to deal with the protesters. They're trying to stop looting.
No, they're trying to deal with a curfew that puts them in the bigger bind than anybody else. And they're listening to your unconstitutional orders.
They're trying to keep themselves safe because the police want to go home to their families. There is no tolerance for violence against the police officer, period, in any part of this state, period. I also...
Dude, your boy's fucked. First of all, he's got no following. He's got no spine. He doesn't even have the balls to talk shit about this genocidal, evil eyes creep. This creep, Andrew Cuomo, who has us in an unconstitutional lockdown because a bunch of black teenagers decided to have a little fun and raid a Foot Locker like that's even that big of a deal and worth shutting down the whole world. He doesn't have the balls to do that, okay? He knew he was coming on the show at 11:30, and he didn't come on the show at 11:30 because he didn't have the balls to talk shit about Cuomo. All right? I was going to give him a chance to get behind him. He's never going to get behind me because he doesn't have the balls to. He only gets behind scum. So guess what? I'm running against Jerry Nadler, bro. That's it. Done. I'm done with this shit.
So want to reinforce the New York City district attorneys. You have scenes of looting that are on videotape that are indefensible and inexcusable.
What about your nursing homes? What about the looting that goes on with all the tickets, the Department of Buildings, all these things, the late fees? That is the real looting. The people not getting their unemployment with 7 days to respond, but they don't get the letters till 10 days after the mail-out date that you had 7 days to respond to. That's looting. That's theft, okay? What about that being unacceptable? What about you being unacceptable? What about what about the corruption, the pool and cesspool of corruption that you're in? Hey, Michael Madrid, you think you think you're going to stand me up on my show, cuz? No, I'm going to run against you.
Looting is criminal activity, number one. Looting now is exploiting this situation with the protests. They know that the police are going to be busy with the protesters?
Because you're the one who's making them busy. The police shouldn't be busy with the protesters at all. All Cuomo should have to say is, you are a protester. Protesting is the most American thing you could possibly do. But Cuomo is literally sending his armies around to follow him around, to follow the protesters around who are engaging in their First Amendment. Just tell the protesters, listen, protest. If anybody starts yoking some shit up and breaking stuff in the streets, all businesses and everything else is closed anyway. If you guys start breaking stuff, we have cameras all over the place and we're going to arrest whoever breaks. That's it. That's it. No, he has this whole goddamn city in a freaking tinderbox right now. And to me, that is just the most unacceptable thing we could possibly ever do. It is completely, completely ridiculous. Let me see something right here. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, sorry for the delay, everybody. Let's get back to this creepazoid Cuomo, please. Oh God, give me a second. Oh God, you know, I don't like doing this. I'm done. I'm done with this fucking shit. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Bam, 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 bam. No, you got to be kidding me, dude. They say de Blasio is live. Is that what that just said? Come on, come on. I turned you off, asshole. Let's go back to this asshole.
What's wrong, Socks? What's wrong with you? You stuck, are you?
Sorry.
Getting stuck sucks.
Thank God. But there's no social distancing. You look at the encounters with the police are right in their face. They're right in the face of the police. 20,000 protesters in New York City. 1,000 protesters on Long Island. These are big numbers. And yes, they're young people and they're superheroes and nothing can affect me. We're going to open the testing facilities for all people who are at a protest.
Shit.
Shit.
That's what that was. The protesting was a goddamn trap. I knew it too. I knew it was a trap. So everyone who was arrested for getting for protesting is going to get a mandatory test. Those motherfuckers. You are not getting my blood. You are not getting anything. Fuck you. How does that sound? Fuck you. This isn't about Black lives. This isn't about this. This isn't about how you created a freaking crisis with the NYPD and you mastermindedly created a race war. This isn't about your fucking race war. This is about your contact tracing. This is about you extracting our DNA. This is about you involuntarily inoculating us. This is about your world domination. And you think you have me trapped in this city and I'm not going to be able to go anywhere, you motherfucker. And then what you do is you put an NYPD guy on me who has his head so far up his ass, all he's going to do is follow your unconstitutional bullshit order while I'm the one defending the Constitution right here. And the kid running for Congress, against Jerry Nadler is too scared to speak out against this creep. You got a real problem. I protested. Hey, buddy, you protested too. You think it's your claim to fame, okay? You finally got roughed up by a cop and unconstitutionally arrested. Congratulations, I'm 37, okay? Been dealing with it for a little while, cuz, because I have balls. I stand up to the rules. You think this motherfucker is gonna... Holy shit, did you hear what he just said? Holy fucking shit, man. Holy fucking shit. This motherfucker. I knew it, you piece of shit. That's it, bro. I'm fucking. I'm
Spreader.
arresting
All
you.
these new
I'm
terms.
arresting you.
Super spreader. What's a super spreader? Super
Spreader's you.
spreader is what
You're
happened
a
to
super
us in
spreader. A super spreader, tyranny, and bullshit.
New Rochelle, Westchester, where
Fuck
we had
you,
the
man.
first hot spot, new term, in the United States of America. One person
Fuck you.
can infect hundreds.
Fuck you.
If you were at a protest, go get a test, please.
Fuck
the
you.
protesters have a civic duty here also. Be responsible, get a test, go to the
They're all wearing
website, find out
masks.
the
They're so
testing
stupid.
site
They're
nearest
gonna
you.
fall.
We have
Oh,
700 in the state.
Oh, fuck
You can
you.
get a test, get a test. Also, allow the police to do their job when you're protesting. The reason the peaceful protest is so important, not just so you don't get categorized, stereotyped as criminals, but so the police can actually focus on their job, which is stopping the looting.
Why is stopping
Wear a
the looting
mask.
their job? Why is stopping the looting their job? Why is recouping a retail value and making sure these companies don't lose money in retail value? Why is that their job? Why is it even Curtis Leawal's job to run in and protect Foot Locker that uses slave labor from getting looted when the kids can't even go shopping for 3 goddamn months? The government is giving them money, but the only way they can get a pair of shoes is as if they buy it off of Jeff Bezos. Don't you see the problem? We are able to loot without getting arrested. Why couldn't the kids go shopping for shoes without getting arrested? No. You want to exploit those young black kids that exploited a Foot Locker, the most fun thing they possibly could have done all week. You want to exploit them for that and create martial law and and make us all criminals and put us all on vaccine lines and take our blood and take our DNA so you can drink adrenochrome. I've been saying this for months, and it's so goddamn true. Oh, God.
And tell people that you may have been exposed to COVID. If you were at one of those protests,
to COVID, motherfucker.
I would, out of an abundance of caution, assume that you were infected. And tell people, when you go home, tell your parents, tell your sister, tell your brother, who may not be 25 years old and consider themselves a superhero. Tell people.
Okay, I got one for you. How many minorities did we lose in this city to your bullshit crisis creation? How much? To your inability to keep these people nourished enough to where they're not walking around with diabetes? What? How many kids that are marching in these Black Lives Matter protests for a better world lost their mother, their father, their grandmother, their aunt, their uncle, their friends, their teachers, to you not protecting us? How many? And they might have been taking care of their mom before their mom was dying and going, oh no, or their dad was dying and oh no. They might not have been able to visit their dad at the hospital. They might not have even been able to bury him so you could have your crisis creation. You motherfucker. And then you're going to tell them that they have to go get tested? Maybe their parents died in the first wave, and maybe they've been exposed to this thing at the end of February or early March. And you're telling them that they have to go get tested? Maybe we live in the epicenter of the corona bona bullshit, and maybe all of us have pretty much been exposed already. Are any of us dying? No, they have to go get tested. Are you worried about ventilators? Are you saying, oh shit, bring back the freaking aircraft carrier, reopen the Jacob Javits Center, they're not social distancing? All you give a shit about is getting our DNA for that test. You creepy motherfucker. You creepy motherfucker. Fuck you, Cuomo. Fuck you, Cuomo. What a piece of shit. How the hell is anybody going to win an election against this motherfucker by being honest without cursing? It's goddamn impossible. And then this piece of shit, Satan himself, is going to take out the Bible, a quote from the Bible without even looking at it. Like, he's so astute. Like, he remembers Matthew, and he's a good little boy. I mean, this is crazy. We are literally under attack. Under attack.
I may have been exposed, and act like you may have been exposed. Because, by the way, you may have been exposed, and you're not worried about yourself. That's a different conversation. Worry about your 55-year-old grandfather, or your 62-year-old grandmother, or your 60-year-old parent or uncle or aunt.
Dickhead, we did that. We did that for 3 months, bro. For 3 months. And you know what you paid back in gratitude? Do you know what you paid back in gratitude while the city? I mean, I went by, I was the only guy not following your bullshit shelter in place rules, suggested get home by 8 o'clock rules, and all your nonsense. I was the only one walking around in these creepy, going through the projects, and it was creepy as hell because everyone was huddled inside their house. Do you know what the thanks that they got for listening to your rules? Their community suffered the most in deaths. And not only did it suffer the most in deaths, but guess what? Your NYPD went around and started beating the shit out of them and breaking up funerals and treating them like shit, just adding more fuel for your tinderbox. They got no thanks for sheltering in place. No thanks for sheltering in place. Okay? Maybe that scumbag cop in Minnesota should have been sheltering in place, avoiding physical contact. Maybe if he did, he would have gotten he would have taken that $20 bill. Maybe he would have realized that George Floyd got that $20 bill at the gas station. Didn't even know. Oh, it was up to this cop to take this guy in. Oh, no, he was so bad for a fake 20 when we live in a fiat currency, bullshit fake currency, though everything's fucking fake world, that we got to stomp on his neck. That's the thanks that these people got by listening to you. And they still do. They still walk around with their fucking masks while they're protesting like a bunch of obedient little assholes. De Blasio is sitting there saying, tear up the city. Tear it up. Turn it inside out. We don't give a fuck. The NYPD is going to hold this down, and I'm going to put you in a war and tear the city down. But you got to wear your masks. You got to wear your masks. You innocent little soldiers. This way, Antifa can make their way around the city with more ease. And this way, the rest of us could look around and be like, what? It's just so fucking baffled at how everyone could be so goddamn obedient about it. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry. I got to stop cursing.
They can die from this virus. And by the way, you could too, but that's a separate conversation. Also, there's a lag in the numbers, remember. Somebody goes to a protest last night to get infected.
He's doing a goddamn shutdown again.
You don't find out today.
The kid running
you
for
don't find
Congress.
out tomorrow. You don't
find out
the next
for Congress. The kid, as a libertarian running for Congress, thinks UBI is a good idea. Bike lanes are a good idea. There's fucking bike lanes. Don't jump on the bike lane train, cuz. First of all, start riding your bike, okay? I got a broken leg. See if you can even freaking beat me around this city on an invalid leg, all right? Let's see, okay? Your bike lanes. You don't know what a bike lane is. What about, how are the bike lanes in Borough Park, Madrid? How are they, Madrid? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, motherfuckers.
It can be 4 or 5 days until any symptoms show. Symptoms may never show, right? Asymptomatic transfer.
He's shutting down the fucking hospitals. He's saying that if serious, hospitalized, 8 to 12 days.
And if you're really seriously ill, they may be in a hospital in 8 to 12 days. 8 to 12 days is a long time when we're measuring day to day to decide what to do. You saw the difference in the numbers. 2 weeks is a lifetime in the numbers.
So now this is what he's doing. He's gaslighting the protesters. Now he's going to tell the protesters where nobody's dying of corona. They're blaming corona deaths on everything. That the protesters are more responsible. They are responsible for the second wave. So now when there's no schools, now when he rescinds on his summer camp, now when he does all this bullshit, he's going to get all the people that are pissed off about the rioting, pissed off about how much this shit is going to cost, how much their property taxes are going to go up. People are going all over the place. Now he's telling the public to get mad at the protesters. He's saying, hey. I know you're all mad about the nursing homes. I know you're all mad about the way I did this. But hey. Remember those protesters? Those protesters weren't supposed to go out. And we got this thing under control. It's the protesters that did this. It's the protesters' fault. And we didn't have enough oversight from the federal government. So he's going to have the pandemic break out again in his state, blame the Black Lives Matter protesters while pretending to be a Black Lives Matter guy while he's been in power as Attorney General since 2007, while his father's governor's philosophy was don't put anybody on death row. We'd rather keep them there for life and have them live till 90 because the state can make more money that way. Kind of creepazoid. And now he's magically pinning the social conscious of what's happening in our country on the protesters while pretending to have the protesters' side. Sorry.
So, if you had a viral spread through these protests, we're not going to see it in the numbers for a while. And in the meantime, we're making all these decisions on reopening. So it's important that people act responsibly for themselves.
We can't reopen. We were so close. We were right there to an impending financial world collapse. We were so close, and then these fucking protesters had to go out. Ah! These people are fucking lost everything. The business owners in the outer boroughs, the white people lost every fucking thing, okay? Except for the liberal ones that are social workers, except for the cops and the FDNY and all those bureaucrats. But their pensions aren't going to last anyway. We lost our whole entire life. We lost America. And now it's going to get blamed on the Black Lives Matter protesters. And the Black Lives Matter protesters aren't savvy enough to realize that Andrew Cuomo is, in fact, the #1 white supremacist of them all. This is sad. This is sad. This is alarming. Somebody, please listen to me. An officer, a law enforcement person, somebody in the military.
You went to a protest,
can we get
a
enough
test,
people together?
tell people.
It is time to bring this motherfucker in on a citizen's arrest. This is out of control. He is trying to get me to get against the protesters. This is what he's trying to do. He's taking a couple looters, a bunch of 14-year-old black kids looting a Foot Locker, like that's such a big goddamn deal, okay? Jesus Christ, I was jealous of these kids. They're having so much fun, okay? Like it's that much of a big goddamn deal. And he's using all this to blame his corona destruction against him to create a race war. If any white people, and I know your backs are up against it, I know you walk through those crowds and they tell you that you're not even allowed to talk because you're white and this and that. Any white people that take the bait and join in on this race war, you're just as brainwashed as the black people. That's the truth. You're just as brainwashed as the black people. Again, let me say it again. Any white people that take the bait, up until now, when you're like, whoa, that pendulum's swinging way too back. It's going from we hated the blacks made a comeback, and now it's boom, and they're going to smash us. Like, we got to do something. This is crazy. It's accepted to say that we're not allowed to breed out, and like really like foul things are coming our way. Before that, you should have said something. But now, after Andrew Cuomo created what he created and is beautifully now blaming the respread of the corona bona that barely even exists, on the BLM protesters. If you take the bait and get mad at the BLM protesters for that, you're just as brainwashed as the black people living in NYCHA. You're just as brainwashed as the black people that vote for Democrats time and time and time and time again. You're just as brainwashed. Focus all your energy on we should just have a march and go up there and arrest this piece of shit Cuomo. That's what we should be doing.
Act as if you may have been exposed.
Act.
New York City enters phase 1 Monday. With all of this going on, New York City had the highest number of protesters. We have to be smart. The protesters themselves could wind up causing a spike. So we have to be smart. The businesses that were looted.
And then are they going to be charged with murder? Like, I wonder for the protesters or anybody when they start contact tracing and all that stuff, and they tell you, like, listen, we believe that you might have the corona bona. You know what I'm saying? We think you got the bona. So please shelter in place for 7 days, and we're going to check on you for symptoms, and we're going to what are they going to do? Give me an ankle bracelet, follow around my cell phone, because people don't know which direction they're going in the city anymore without their cell phone. What are they going to do? And then what if I don't listen and I spread the road? I'll probably get criminally charged. But this guy doesn't get charged or even investigated for his nursing home bullshit. Fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. This guy is fanning the flames of a culture war. Yesterday, 2 days ago, when he was up there and there was riots in the street and vandalism on Broadway, the power that I have is not leaving. Another crisis. Oh, I can hold on to my satanic power. Fan the flames, please. It's all this motherfucker is doing. He's a schmeagle, satanic piece of shit.
And look, the other reason why I'm saying to the district attorneys, they should take these looters and punish them for what they did. Many of the businesses they looted were mom and pop businesses.
Get the fuck out of here. Where? Show me where. Show me where. Have you even been in the city? Show me where. Show me where. Okay? I can't take your call. Show me where. Where? Where? Maybe in the Bronx there was some. Where? I saw Lululemon. I saw AT&T. I saw Whole Foods. Okay? I saw G-Star Raw. Okay? I saw a bunch of corporations that have slave labor and rip people off. Okay? Slave labor. Outsource all their labor to slaves. And then have the and Foot Locker, $200 Jordans, exploiting us, stealing basically the welfare money and the food stamp money or their hard-earned money from their bullshit job working security or at Best Buy or whatever the fuck, stealing that money so you can have slaves build your sneakers and the sneakers only cost $15 a pop. So Jordan can make $50 a pop off of a shoe? Like he doesn't have enough money already? For what? What? How many mom and pop stores were really vandalized? I was out there every single night. I didn't get to the Bronx yet, I'll give you that. But I was out there every single night and I did not see not one mom and pop store fucked up. This guy is fanning the flames, people. Fanning the flames of a civil war.
Is in distressed communities that were struggling in the first place. In New York City, Rochester, many of these businesses were essential businesses.
Look at this. I told you. These businesses, the reason why they were leaving their inventory in the store was so they could recoup the money. This is so blatantly obvious. Provide free mediation of disputes. Accept photos as reasonable proof of loss so businesses don't have to wait for police reports. So the police don't even need to report on these losses. So all of these retail stores can now just run through and go, yep, I don't know what happened. We didn't even notice. Maybe these looters are more sophisticated than we thought. That came in through the, through the street entrance. They got everything. They went right through the basement, the stairwell out on the sidewalk. They got everything out of here. Our whole inventory is wiped out, sir. Here's a picture of an empty basement. What do you want me to do? A couple pieces of wood on the floor. You're good. Oh, my God.
For the poorest communities in those locales. And they looted mom and pop stores that don't have the resources to rebuild and reopen.
I haven't been in the Bronx.
So we're going to do.
But in the city, in Manhattan, no. There's no such thing anymore. There's no such thing anymore.
Do everything that we can do.
And if anybody damages mom and pop businesses, it was this idiot with his orders.
To help them. Department of Financial Services, DFS, regulates the insurance industry. They're going to direct insurers to expedite all claims for all looted businesses, free mediation services to accept photos as proof. If a looted business has trouble with their insurance Tuesday, Long Island goes next Wednesday. Remember what outdoor dining is. It is outdoor where, because the numbers today are good, we're going to act on the data that we have. We're going to go to outdoor dining as part of phase 2.
Next Tuesday.
And that affects all the communities that are already in phase 2, and there are a number that.
Okay, guys, I'm running for mayor. This thing is hit or miss. Whether I can blow it or not. Jesus Christ. Okay, but I need everyone. I don't have some creepy communist in the background. God damn it. Sorry about that. Look at that. I don't know if you can see this, but see this? Maybe a little tiny bit into here, but not really, is where some of the water is. But most of our reservoirs are from these 2 counties. There is no reason why New York City can't just take this right across, just right across there. Boop. Make sure we have all our water and make this a city. Just make this the whole city. Make this a whole state. Give us our own governor. The people up here, do not have the same needs, the same focus, the same anything than the people here. Okay? The people here, believe it or not, there's people moaning and groaning, all right? They want nothing to do with the city, but people in Orange County, you could be a cop or a firefighter and live in Orange County. I don't think you can anymore, but you could at one point. Why can't we make this southern tier section of the state one state and make the rest of this state a whole nother state and then get rid of Cuomo altogether? Maybe if we succeed and have a downstate and succeed and have an upstate, maybe that's the only way to defeat Cuomo in the polls, for him to not have a state to run in an election again, because that's how brilliant and corrupt he is, that he will never, ever lose the New York State election. Maybe the state split is what we need, but I beg of you, the whole Hudson Valley needs to become part of the city. It's the only way people in the city are going to have the confidence to give it up. People in the city are not going to have the confidence to give up their water, have their water be in another state, and risk the National Guard coming in. Yes, we're a third world fucking country now because of this guy Cuomo. I'm really disappointed. That we aren't marching up to get rid of this guy already.
Tuesday, Long Island goes next Wednesday. I get it. As soon as we can do it, we will. If there's a way drive-ins or drive-throughs can be helpful, I hope that makes a difference in the meantime. I talked to Michaela about it. Look, this is just a bizarre time. It's a time they'll write about in the history books for years to come. They'll talk about for years to come. I've said all along.
Fuck this guy. Have your graduation anyway. Go have your prom anyway, in case you haven't missed that. Go make one anyway, and go have your graduation. Fuck this guy.
It's also a time of reflection, value changing. Learn about yourself, learn about your family, you learn about people.
God.
I said to Michaela, what do you want for graduation? Any other year she would have said money.
I just want adrenochrome. All I want is adrenochrome. I want all these people to breathe as much as they can, and then you reopen the economy and show everyone exactly how fucked the world is, and then say the government doesn't run out, so all the pregnant women run and abort their babies, and I can just drink all the baby blood, Dad. That's what I want. You know that's what I want, Daddy. That's what's happening.
She just goes for the money, and then that allows her to get what she wants to get, so there's certain logic to that. This year she said to me, I want something that means something to you. I said, what does that mean? She said, well, I want something that just means something to you. I said, how about I give you money and then you buy something that you think? She said, no, I want something that means something to you.
Why is he talking
she would
about
not
his
have
daughter?
said that
We're in a freaking civil war. Why is he talking about his daughter?
I think it's changed all of us. It's given us all a different
Oh,
perspective.
Jesus Christ.
I'm going to give Michaela my watch. It made me think, what means something to me? What means something to me? I'm going to give her my watch. It means something to me. It's the best thing I have that my father gave me. My father gave me the watch when I was elected Attorney General. My father and mother. So I've had it
Did you do anything for police reform and for all the black and brown people suffering in this city? Did you do anything for the fathers and the children that can't see their kids anymore? Did you do anything for them when you were Attorney General? No, what this guy did when he was Attorney General is he came in 2007, left in 2010 because he ran for governor, all right? What this guy did is this. He was the founder of HUD, or the head of HUD, like Ben Carson is, during the Clinton administration. He set off a mortgage crisis bomb, and he became Attorney General of New York State just in time to oversee it. That's when his daddy gave him his watch. It must mean a lot to him. What a piece of fucking shit. Holy cow. Holy cow.
I've had it for about 14 years. But it means something to me. So she won't be able to wear it because it's a man's watch. Maybe she can. But it means something to me. And you know what? It's a smarter gift. It's a better gift. It means something to her, means something to me. And this whole period has brought us to a deeper place as a family, for my own family.
A deeper place in hell.
And for myself.
Why are you talking about yourself?
I get what it's like not to have the graduation. Today at 2 o'clock, we'll have a moment of silence statewide in respect for Mr.
What about a moment of silence for all the people you killed in the Corona Bona disaster?
Floyd and his murder and his family's pain and grief. And as a symbolic moment to say, we understand what happened, we're sorry, we grieve, and this is an injustice that should never happen again. And we're going to act in the state of New York. We'll pass 50A, which releases disciplinary records, but we stand in solidarity with the senselessness of his brutal murder. And that is part of being New York, tough, smart, united, disciplined. Who's right, who's wrong? Well, it doesn't work that way. Protesters have a point. They looked at what Mr. Floyd did, they're outraged, they're right. Police have to do their job. They have to protect the public safety. They have to stop the looting. They have to do their job. People attack police officers? They attack police officers? You run up to a police officer, they stab a police officer yesterday? They've treated police officers with such disrespect in New York City
Starting a
that
war.
I am stunned. I've never seen that level of disrespect to a police officer. Now, I come from
They
a
were
different
scared
time
they were
and
gonna
place,
shoot
but a
him.
police officer, you wouldn't dare disrespect a police officer. But this is at a level that is just inappropriate, unconscionable.
Well, because they follow your unconstitutional orders all the time, and nobody realizes that they sit there and they tell you, don't blame me, I'm just following orders, which is the most pathetic thing I ever heard. But they are, and they're your unconstitutional and de Blasio's unconstitutional orders, and now there's so much shit being hurled at him. Wait, excuse me. What did you do to stop and frisk? Wait, you've been in attorney general and governor since 2007, so you've been doing this for 13 years now. What did you do to stop and frisk? Hold on. Let me. What did you do to stop and what did you do to stop and frisk?
It's complicated. There is not going to be a simple answer.
It seems like elected officials, though, speaking of the honest dialogue, fear political consequences from both sides, no matter what the position is, because if you are of an opposing position to the other group, there is a label that's placed on you. So a lot of people fear that when it comes to having an honest conversation about where responsibility may lay.
Yeah, you are so right. You are so right. And that's why I say, look, you have these issues going on, and then the overall dynamic, the electricity in the air, is this hyper-partisan, hyper-political. So when you try to be honest and nuanced,
he's trying to make this partisan because it's his only way out of it.
the other side uses it against you. And there's this demonization, right? It's because everything is black and white. You're right, you're wrong. You're with the protesters or you're with the police.
He's letting you know how well he understands the situation. And he's going to push you off the mark to he's letting you know how it works because he's already got it in a corner and he's going to laugh at it and push you off the mark from making you think any of it is his responsibility. That's what he's doing right now.
And it's this divided, everything is divided. And there are forces that try to divide racially, divide politically, divide by sexual orientation, divide by the issue of choice, divide urban versus rural, Northeast versus, those are Democratic states, those are blue states. Everything is divisive. So when you try to have an honest conversation, the politics can overwhelm it. And it makes people afraid to have an honest conversation because they're going to be attacked politically. That's why it was so important for me at the beginning of this coronavirus situation to take myself out of the politics. You know what? I'm going to tell you the truth. You want to attack me from the left? You want to attack me from the right? God bless you. But I'm out of the political business. I'm not running for president. I'm not running for anything. I'm not going to Washington. I am here as long as the people have me. I have no politics. I'm just going to tell the truth. But you're right. It is a hyper-partisan, hyper-divided situation, and you're trying to talk about a very sensitive, complex, nuanced topic in an environment where people are looking to take anything you say and use it against you. And it is extraordinarily difficult in this totality to have this kind of open, honest, candid, frank discussion. Let's do something, okay? We're here. You don't have to yell. My hearing still works. And we'll just do this in a semi-orderly way so we show people that New York can be a decent, safe, loving, united. Mr. Spector?
Well, we're New Yorkers, right?
Yes. Oh, I know that.
Just want to follow up on that. How do you address that as a leader and as a state, this issue of racism that you're seeing now as a result of the situation that we're in?
What was the first part?
Well, just how do you deal with that as a leader and as a state to try to address this divide that you're seeing?
Joe, how did I deal with COVID? By the way, how did I deal with the issue of marriage equality? How did I deal with the issue of gun safety? How did I deal with the issue of minimum wage?
Horrible.
I just tell people what I think. And I give them the facts first. Here are the facts. Here are the facts. Not Democratic facts, not Republican facts. Just facts. You know, you turn on this cable news, you have like Democratic facts and Republican facts. You can't have a Democratic fact, and you can't have a Republican fact. A fact is a fact. A number is a number. You can't change it because you're a Democrat or a Republican. I give them the facts, and then I tell them, this is what I think. You know, I'm in a political position. I represent Democrats, I represent Republicans. I represent independents, I represent conservatives, I represent Buffalo, I represent Manhattan. I don't have that political tension to me, you know. I'm not running in a Democratic primary for president. I'm not running for anything. So I give you the facts, and then I tell you what's honest. I tell you today, DAs should charge these looters. They should charge them with burglary too, and they should be held and set bail.
Whoa.
I believe that.
Whoa. Anybody who has any footage of the kids robbing Foot Locker or anything like that, when you see kids doing this, take it down off of Facebook. Take it down off of YouTube. Take it down. He just said that, and he's telling the district attorneys to go out and arrest teenagers and give them felonies. Give them felonies. And he's saying that he's behind Black Lives Matter. I mean, basically, he needs to get his coffers going. He needs to get his prison population back up, because that's the only way the state can make any goddamn money, or else upstate, and if the corrections falls apart, upstate's really going to fall apart because it's going to have no economy left. So what he needs to do is he needs to imprison as many people as he can. This is crazy. And then the whole way he wins it is by having a race war. So angry-ass white guys like me and angry-ass black dudes and women are all out there fighting each other instead of fighting him, and we're laughing about it. He's laughing about it. This is bad. I got to get the fuck out of here.
The DAs, you attack a police officer, you hit a police officer with a brick in the head. If he wasn't wearing a helmet, he'd probably be dead. Charge people criminally and hold them liable. Mr. Floyd gets killed by police officers. They committed murder. Charge them with murder. Not because I'm a Democrat or Republican, but that's how I see the facts. You want to disagree with me? Disagree with me. You want to agree with me? Agree with me. But I separate the facts from the opinion. I give you the facts first, and then here's my opinion based on those facts. And if we have a disagreement as opinion, fine. That's fine.
Governor, at the same time, last night we all saw videos of New York City police officers who were bludgeoning peaceful protesters in New York City with batons as they were enforcing the curfew. And these weren't people who were resisting or putting up any fight.
Because
is this what
you're forcing the cops to curfew, and the cops can't jump in and arrest somebody beforehand, because then they're going to have nobody left to enforce the curfew, because Cuomo's doing this on purpose.
you wanted when you said the cops should do their job?
Do you think anyone would say, I mean, a question itself can be a little offensive. A police officer doing their job, do you think there's any sensible police officer who believes their job is bludgeoning a peaceful person with a baton? See, it's that kind of incendiary rhetoric
Now here
that
it goes.
it's not a fact. It's not a fact. It's not even an opinion. That is a hyper-partisan rhetorical attack.
What?
Police bludgeon peaceful protesters with batons for no reason. That's not a fact. They don't do that. Anyone who did do that would be obviously reprehensible, if not criminal.
So
I have
don't
two reopening
I
questions.
challenge you
feel like
not
they're
to
both-
enforce the
One's on high
curfew.
school graduation and one is on childcare, which parents really want answers on. So first of all, you said that you'll only allow the drive-in and drive-through graduations. We've been following this issue for a while. We've spoken with a lot of high school students, including one from Shalmont High School in Schenectady County, who is a part of a petition of 5,000 students that want in-person high school graduations with social distancing. He's an immigrant from Pakistan. This means the world to his family. This is a moment they've been waiting for. The parents have been waiting their whole lives to see this moment of their child graduate. You're allowing patios to open for outside dining, so why not allow high school graduation ceremonies with the social distancing and allow these students to have that moment? I know you said your daughter's in the same situation, but is there a way to make this happen for these families?
Have you, I mean, did you hear anything that we've been talking about for the past 96 days?
And it was all bullshit.
How do you
What
justify
difference does it
opening the
make?
patio and not
Look, I
having
don't
the
want to be
graduation?
difficult.
I know.
It's a Pakistani immigrant family that wants to have a graduation. I get it. It's not really relevant that they're from Pakistan. It's not really relevant. Yeah, I know, but that's not the issue. The issue is a public health issue, and you don't want people sick and dead. That's the issue, right? It's about
So the
death.
subways can be open.
It's about balancing the risk versus the reward, balancing the desires and wants
This guy's
versus
such a
the
creep.
consequences.
I can't do this to
Right?
myself anymore.
We went through New Rochelle, Westchester. People went to a ceremony. They were having a celebration and a religious ceremony. Beautiful, of course you should go. Yeah, people died. People died, right? So, yeah, I know everybody wants to go to a high school graduation. I get it. Not if they're going to die, right? Okay. Go ahead, Bernadette.
Are you asking prosecutors to, on their own, up charges for looters?
Not up charges, Bernadette.
It would change.
Charge appropriately.
Charge appropriately, but right now, burglary too only counts if you're entering someone's dwelling, not somebody's store.
Just
That would be
charge
burglary.
appropriately. Charge appropriately.
So are you giving them judicial discretion in this sense?
No, charge appropriately. Look at the facts, look at what they did, and charge
Wow. Can we go
appropriately.
arrest you
That's
right
what
now?
I'm saying. Don't feel, well, there's a political environment where I don't want to charge
God!
because it's not political.
You
to,
are trying to
hold
kill me,
people
dude.
accountable for
You are
crimes.
trying to get me killed in
The
New
law
York.
is the law. The law, we have to be very careful at times of high political pressure that people still enforce the law as the law. Police enforce the law. Police have to do their jobs in a political environment or not. DAs have to do their jobs, enforce the law. I'm not interested in a political enforcement of law. I'm interested in enforcing the law as the law. You had a point, Melissa?
Yeah, if I could. So
Okay.
penal
Whenever they want to free Cuomo of murder or just lie, they have this woman do it.
law 140.25 subdivision 1 applies to stores. It applies directly to looting. I think what you're referring to is the changes that we made in the budget that applies to dwellings, which actually aren't even in effect until July 3rd, right? Because there was a 90-day lag. This has always been the law. It wasn't changed in the budget. And it says that bail could be set if a person is A, carrying a dangerous instrument, which includes a rock, B, uses a rock, brick, or the like to break the window to gain entry, or C, another participant acting with the defendant that did A or B. That is burglary 2 under Penal Law 140.25. So I understand some of the district attorneys may feel uncomfortable charging that as Burg 2 because traditionally they charge that as Burg 3, but they have the tools available to them, and I think what the governor is saying is they should use them.
So are they incorrectly applying the law at this point?
Yes, they're not using the tools that are available to them. This is the opinion of our counsel's office as well as the legislative counsel's offices, which wrote the law.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no incorrect.
They want to throw all these kids in jail. They want to throw all these kids in jail. They weren't allowed to go shopping. They weren't allowed to go shopping for 3 months. They weren't allowed to do anything for 3 months. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Without political.
These kids weren't allowed to do anything for 3 months. They went out to a Black Lives Matter fucking protest. They've been getting exploited and ripped off ever since they got to America. Finally, they're actually really taking a stand to the point where we're all like, what the fuck is going on here? Okay? A couple juveniles got engaged in a little bit of looting. We weren't able to go shopping for 3 months. You already said the insurers are covering the back end, and that you said it in your own presentation, and that the retail stores aren't losing a goddamn thing, and they don't even need police reports, and they can expedite it and get all their money back. But you want these cops to charge these kids with felonies and go through New York City and round them up with facial recognition. You're a piece of shit. A piece of fucking shit.
Pressure.
Governor, just return to last night. In Cadman Plaza in Brooklyn, the police did use batons and they did use physical pressure to try to disperse protesters. Some protesters were injured. What do you make of those tactics, and is that appropriate for clearing a curfew?
Police have to enforce the law. If you are violating the curfew,
so he's the one who's now saying police have to enforce the law. He's the one who's saying police have to be violent with these people. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. But his law is completely unconstitutional because the curfew is completely unconstitutional, and stopping anybody from protesting is completely unconstitutional.
And you refuse to leave, so you continue to violate the curfew. The police officers have to enforce the law, which is you're supposed to be off the street.
But the use of batons seems particularly violent, particularly when all of these protests are about police brutality at its essence. So is the use of batons and physical violence or force?
Well, a baton, I didn't see any, I don't know what you're talking about with Cadman Plaza in Brooklyn. But when you say use a baton, what does that mean? Did they hit somebody with a baton?
That's what our reporting shows.
Your reporting says they hit somebody who didn't do anything wrong. Well, if they hit somebody, if somebody's standing there and they just walked up to somebody and hit them with a baton, clearly that's wrong, right? But I don't believe that's what happened. If they did do that, it's wrong.
Do you expect that to be a full repeal that the legislature will go for, or will it be a modification to address some privacy concerns that PBAs have raised?
Well, there are a number of concerns about 50A, about how you do it, and I'll work with the legislature.
You have the whole, okay. Remember, I'm the, if you don't follow the Constitution, I don't like you, okay? Remember that. I have a bone to pick with you. And the police have been following Cuomo's orders, which are unconstitutional, and I had a bone to pick with the police. And I really think some of these guys' disciplinary records should have been released at certain points. Fair. This guy is going after the protesters, socially labeling them with the looters, calling the cops wrong, releasing the cops' private information, and then at the same time, going after the looters on felonies, turning these young innocent kids who are just having a little fun, cooped up in their houses all summer, not knowing what the fuck's going on in the world. The insurers are going to cover all the stores. The economy's falling apart anyway. They're going to go in and round these kids up and put them in prisons, and they're going to round any protester up and make sure they get a test for the COVID. This guy is literally trying to start a war and point everyone towards each other to the point where we all start cannibalizing each other and killing each other. That is exactly what Andrew Evil Eyes Cuomo is trying to do.
We haven't had any specific conversations yet. Let's take one more. Dan?
5 years ago, you signed an executive order having the Attorney General look at police-involved deaths. Do you want to see the legislature codify that finally as they consider these bills over the next few weeks? And are there ways to strengthen it?
I'm sorry, did you say 5 minutes ago I signed?
5 years.
5 years ago. Yeah, I was going to say. Well, you realize how smart that executive order was now, right? Because those are the reforms they're talking about that need to be made. We did that 5 years ago, and again, by executive order, not by the law. I tried to change the law, which sort of vindicates this whole movement, right, that's out there. Even in New York, I couldn't get the law change passed. That's why I had to do it by executive order, and that was 5 years. And I believe this is a common sense reform. I don't believe the DAs should be investigating police abuse of their police force. Why? Because conflict of interest works on two levels. The reality of a conflict of interest or the perception of a conflict of interest. Why would people believe, especially in this charged environment, that any prosecutor who works with that police agency day in and day out is now going to be the independent reviewer of abuse? Just common sense suggests if you're working with those people day in and day out and you're going to work with them tomorrow after you make this ruling, how are you independent? And the whole situation here is about credibility, that people know this is a fair justice system. So we said the Attorney General.
System. You want to make these innocent, these kids angry, enraged. What about entrapment? Entrapment would be looting. I mean, looting should be a little misdemeanor, and your looting charge, bro. People aren't going to loot for too long, okay? Screw you. And fuck your curfew. Fuck you and your curfew, bro. Jesus Christ, man. The curfew's fucked up, man. The curfew's so fucked up,
Who is independently elected, statewide. Let the Attorney General investigate any situation where a police officer kills.
She needs to go, too. She's corrupt.
An unarmed person. It was very controversial. I couldn't get the law passed. I did it by executive order 5 years ago. And now, today, they're still saying, oh, we need a reform light. Thank you very much. I did it 5 years ago. But I believed it 5 years ago. I believe it today. I believe it should be done on a national level, where we should have a system in this country where we say a police abuse case cannot be handled by the local prosecutor who works with those police day in and day out. And that is the law in this state by executive order. If they want to codify it in law, great. But I wouldn't water it down or modify it. I'd rather keep it nice and clean, if only by executive order. I'm going to go to work. Is that good?
Please, what about the
We're
state
hearing from
police?
local highway superintendents who tell us they're trying to get reimbursed for the public works projects, and the system's been frozen. Should they stop doing those public works programs, or will they eventually be reimbursed by the state?
Do you know this is correct?
These are for projects that are ongoing. They'll eventually be reimbursed by the state for those projects that are already started and that are ongoing.
Okay. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. This guy is fucking Hitler. He is fucking Hitler.